So they fixed Generation 5.
You serious?
Now, I'm just gonna say right off the bat, before this whole newfangled Chapter 4 of MLP Make Your Mark came out, I believed that Generation 5, from where it stood, I believe that the writing, the animation, the characters, it would be absolutely horrid at worst, and completely mediocre at best. But still, I just had that faith in my heart that eventually, and I mean eventually, that the show would get better. Slowly but surely. But I didn't think it would happen so soon, huh? And it's funny to think that this chapter came out right after what I believe to be the absolute worst Tell Your Tale episode ever created. Like, trust me, I could make a whole entire episode about episode 53 as the Misty clears. But I decided not to do that because honestly, I feel like chapter 4 deserves its own just batch of videos here because the total 180 where they're writing it's uncanny. I mean, they fixed every single problem that I had with this series, and if they didn't fix it, they at least started to fix it. And if it wasn't every single problem, then it was most problems. Like, how? Also, video have spoilers, blah blah blah. Also, this is part 1 of however many videos I decide to do on this, because I have a lot to say about this chapter. Also, you guys are not going to get you guys are not going to get a lot of Make Your Mark footage because, copyright. You guys don't know this, but this is the 3rd time I'm recording this video. So if you guys would ever so like, let us dive into the first episode of what makes this chapter so much more tolerable than the other ones. Now let's start with the beginning, shall we? Let's start with Bridal Woodstock, the special, the 44-minute special. Now, I'm not going to be doing an entire full-length analysis of all the ins and outs of this episode because 1, I'm lazy, 2, I don't want to make this video very long, and 3, I'm very lazy. This first episode focuses more on Pipp. Oh dear God, why? Now, I'll be the first to say throughout all of Generation 5 so far, Pipp has been my least favorite character. Like, every single time she would show up on screen and do her usual Pipp things, most of the time I would be disgusted and I would immediately be angry. Because her whole character was pretty much just, generic influencer girl stuff. Let me take a selfie. I dare you to take a shot. Every single time Pipp says, oh, I'm gonna take a selfie, or she tries to take a selfie, and you will know what I mean. Her character is just so overplayed and annoying, and it actively ruined some parts of episodes for me. It sucked. But not to say her whole entire character was terrible. I did kind of like how, she had this whole kind of second trait of, singing and dancing and being passionate for music. You hear that second trait? She's not one-dimensional? Nice. But it was kind of a shame how Pipp didn't really get to show that whole thing off very often. And that sucks. That really sucks. But after watching Chapter 4, I can firmly say she is still a generic influencer. Nah, I'm kidding. The whole first episode puts more of a focus on Pipp, but instead of it having be about social media, or any of the other types of social media, they actually decided to make it about music. Whoa! Like, hey, dude, that's part of her character. Oh my god. And throughout the whole entire first episode of Chapter 4, not once did she just randomly whip out the social media bit. Hey, let's take a selfie. Hey, let's do this for the ponygram. Actually, now that I think about it, that does happen in the beginning of the episode. Hear me out, though. Her antics are significantly toned down, and her character is so much more of a joy to watch. Dude. She even says this.
Oh, don't bother. The service out here is non-existent. In Bridalwood, it's more about forest streams than streaming, you know? Be in the now, ponies. Forget those phonies.
Who are you? Pipp's character, honestly, her character felt so much more fun and flowing and natural. I don't know what I mean by that. But, I don't know, her character just felt like she was having fun rather than just worrying about her Instagram followers, which, yes, this is what I want to see, some variety with this character. But what is this episode actually about? Well, this episode follows Pipp and the gang trying to set up a music festival in Bridalwood, specifically at this one specific spot that kind of glows in the night. You know, it's this place. It's this place. You see it? It's this place right here. But Izzy tries to warn Pipp about these things, these thingies, these ghost-like creatures called they're called let's just call these guys the Bojangles. Basically, the whole point with the Bojangles here is that there's this whole thing with the Jinxies, the unicorns, is, you know, all that stuff. And basically, they play loud music during the night while this glowy spot is being all glowy. The Bojangles, they're gonna come out and they're going to do some very bad things. What are those bad things? I don't know. Ask my psychiatrist. I don't know. Now, if this was the old Generation 5, Pipp probably would have just ignored this without reason. Probably would have just gone on with making the festival because, hey, I want to do this for Ponygram. But since they're actually trying with their writing this time, well, I wouldn't say they're trying, but my brain just died. Anyway, Pipp keeps going on with the music festival because not only for her passion for music and singing, but because of another reason that they kind of just pulled out of nowhere, but I will go with it. Basically, there's this whole thing in Zephyr Heights where music festivals are, like, really kind of important to them, which that does kind of make sense because of the whole Winter Wish Day and the festival they threw there in Zephyr Heights. And since Princess Zip is literally one of the princesses of Zephyr Heights, it makes sense. Good job, I guess. I also do think that they do a pretty good job of showing, you know, how much Pipp just does not believe in the whole Bojangles thing. She's not having it with the whole Bojangles conspiracy. And while Izzy does kind of convince Hitch and Zip about the whole Bojangles conspiracy, and they're worried about it too, it ain't happening with Pipp. Pipp is determined to finish this festival. And her denial does kind of make sense, because one, the musical festival is important to her, so it makes sense for her character to kind of deny anything that will deny her that chance of, you know, getting the festival to work. But also, Jinxies don't have the best track record of being true. It's either like, oh, this is stupid, there's no way this could be true, or, oh god, this is absolutely true, we should be scared for our lives. And considering that, I think it's pretty reasonable for Pipp to kind of just dismiss it and be like, no, we are going to keep on with this festival. And the fact, all these factors kind of coming together, it kind of has Pipp potentially endangering her friends, which does kind of allow for the emotional moment at the end to feel earned. I call it an emotional moment, but I don't really think anybody was like bawling tears when they saw this emotional moment, or at least that's what I think. Now, there are indeed other aspects to this episode, like the 3 music pony groups thing. You know, I have 2 kind of bands and 1, you know, solo singer. And also, by the way, I would just like to share with you guys, while I was writing the script, I learned that thingies is spelled with an I-E-S instead of just a Y-S, and that kind of blew my mind, I'm not gonna lie. So here we have the Blue Dabba Shut Up group, Ruby Doja Cat, and a Generation 3 reference. Now, all 3 of these music pony group kind of things, they all have their different kind of personalities and styles of music. One that is more traditional, which is the Generation 3 reference. one that is like more top of the charts, no personality, the popular music girl, which is Ruby Doja Cat. But I will say I actually really enjoyed Ruby Doja Cat. So Ruby Jubilee honestly was just a joy to watch. And I would say also I think the rock band, the Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Shut Up group, honestly didn't really do much, which is kind of a shame. I felt like they could have done at least something with them. As for the Generation 3 reference, Minty and the gang are just such a joy to watch. You kind of get to see them figure out how they're going to make this whole getting the band back together thing work. And it's really cool. I don't know. No. My brain died again. Anyway, the 3 types of personality in music and style, it also just very sneakily and slyly plays into the enjoyment factor of this episode, as your taste in music will kind of get you to choose who you would root for. What do I mean by that? Well, you see, all 3 of these music groups are planning to perform at the music festival, but the only reason that they decided to go and perform at the music festival is because they all believe that they're going to be the headliner. Looks like we have another big oops on our hand. Oh, freak. That really does suck. I will say it is a really easy way to create conflict for the episode, but you know what, I take it. It's very natural, and again, it's just really easy to introduce conflict into the story. Now, this is where the whole music taste comes into play, because depending on your music taste, you might root for a certain band or, Ruby Jubilee to be the headliner of the show, and it very, very sneakily just makes you just engage with the story even more. Me personally, I rooted for Minty and the gang. Not that I like traditional music per se, it's just that I do like rock, but the electric band group kind of sucked and didn't really do anything, and they had no personality. Minty and the gang, they had personality, and they weren't into popular music, which is also just me. Now, I do think that the way they solved this whole part of the conflict was kind of lame, because this is basically what they do. They walk up to the freaking ponies and say, hey, now I know you want to be this headliner thing, but being a headliner kind of sucks, right? So what if you be the first person to go? And they all just kind of agree, and they're like, oh, okay, but you may be thinking, wait a minute, but if they're all going first, who's going to be the headliner? And who's going to be second and third? And I would agree with that, and the show agreed with that as well for like half a second, and then they just decided that, oh, yeah, Pipp will just be the headliner. I mean, they immediately just like, oh, yeah, Pipp's the headliner. Now, at first, what I was thinking with the whole music thing, I thought at first that the music festival was going to start, and they would have 3 differing songs, each with their different unique styles of music, and then the whole Bojangle conflict would come in. But no, they kind of just interrupted the first song, and this is where the obligatory action scene comes in, because, this is a 44-minute special. We gotta have some action here. And the action's alright. The action still feels awkward, but I will say that the action is still better than that of Winter Wish Day and some of the other action scenes in this series, because, oh man, the action gets real heckin' awkward. But I do really like the way they solved the whole Bojangles conflict, because Izzy and a few of the unicorns and the whole Jinxie stuff, they keep repeating this poem that literally gives them the answer to how to defeat the Bojangles. Again, it's just a natural kind of way to resolve the conflict, and the poem's just kind of cool. And that's pretty much the episode. But before I get into before I end this video, let's talk about a couple of things that are kind of outside the episode. One, I want to speak about the songs for a little bit. The couple of songs we did have in this episode, they were fine. Iconic was fine, and the next song that I don't remember the name of, I was kind of grooving to that one, but I do kind of miss the range and different styles of songs we would get, like Pony Love, Where to Go, Portrait Day song, Everything is Going to Be okay, everything is going to be okay. And the whole music they did during like the whole Christmas festival and Winter Wish Day, they all had their different unique feels, tones, and sounds. And that's just kind of missing from this chapter. I mean, look at the movie, man. Look at the movie. Also, not speaking about songs, the comedy, it's so good, man. I actually laughed. Dude, I laughed. I haven't felt that since 1839, my god. Also, just the general charm, even just from this first episode, is so much better. Most of the jokes landed, and if the joke didn't land, it's not like it was some awful, horrible thing that we should just burn with fire. The animation is also a lot better. They fixed it. While they still have those moments where the animation just gets randomly smooth for no freaking reason at all, when it's not like that, it's still pretty good. Plus, the show honestly just looks better, especially with the lighting. The lighting. Like, dude, finally, I can stare at this and not have third-degree burn in my eyeballs. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the first episode. For now, at least. And by for now, I mean, yes, that's all I'm going to say about this first episode. Overall, it's a pretty solid first episode to start with. I know it did quite a few critiques of this episode, but really, though, it really was a pretty solid episode. I would say go watch it. I also like to remind you that this is the first episode. No, it's not the first episode. What is this, a TV show? This is not a TV show. This is the first video, the first part of however many videos I decided to do on Generation 5, Chapter 4. I would also like to say that this is my third time recording this video. Oh my Jesus Christ, this was such a hassle to do. Copyright, why? And I would also like to say that this was all recorded in one take, so if you thought this video was stupid and dumb, take that. If you thought this video was poorly edited, no, this video wasn't even edited at all. Take that, you freaking idiots. Also, I would like to say sincerely from the bottom of my heart, if you guys did not enjoy this, I hope you guys just did not enjoy this video. I hope you guys just dislike the video, report me to YouTube, and just absolutely go ham on this video. And that is all I would like to say. Goodbye, the people who hate me, and hello to the people who don't hate me, and hello to my mother, my father, my Chromebook that is sitting on my desk, my Lego freaking question mark block thingy, my Wii